My friend, you need to be careful. Are you starting to sense that things are getting a little shaky, a little dicey, a little scary in the economy, in the United States, in the world? I've got 4 headlines I want to go over with you today that give us a clear signal, right? It's flashing signals that things are getting bad out there. And hey, once the Federal Reserve, once the world central banks have to come in and rescue the world economy, that will be rocket fuel for our friends silver and gold. But for right now, we need to be careful, and we need to talk about these 4 major stories that impact all of us. Let's get started right now. Let's get this out of the way right off the bat. You are always welcome in Ron's Basement. You're joining me right now, just me and you, from somewhere in the world, but you're always welcome to join me. If you get some value, subscribe here. Now, let's talk about a shocking headline that I ran into this morning. Not 62%, but 63% of the American population is living paycheck to paycheck. That might be you, right? You may be in that situation. If you are, I'm sorry. You need to take steps right now to help alleviate that issue. 63% of the American population would be in deep trouble if they had a medical crisis, faced with a major repair bill, whatever the case may be. This number is rising precipitously, and I would encourage everyone, if you haven't already, get your financial house in order. Spend less than you make. It's very, very simple, and I don't want to sound mean when I say that, but the only way you'll ever save any money is if your output is less than your input. Get on it right now. Ugly numbers in the freight industry. But before we talk about that, I put out a new video every single day. If you want to get notified, turn on the little ring-a-ling-ding-a-ling bell icon, and that way you'll get notified as soon as I put out a new video. The freight industry is showing serious signs of strain, and not strain from too much work to be done, but shrinking amount of freight volumes. We know already that the trans-Pacific rates, the amount of money it costs to ship one of those big shipping containers, have collapsed by 75%. That's the first domino. Now what they're saying is we're going to see a very large decrease in rail and trucking volume, and then finally on the local delivery level. And why? That's the important thing we want to talk about, right? Do you think you know why that's going on? Well, it's because of inflation. Here's a simple way to think about it. The guy that went to Walmart a year ago and spent $100 probably had, let's say he had 10 items in his cart when he left. Now, today, if he goes to Walmart with that same $100, instead of 10 items, he'll have to put 2 of them back on the shelf because of inflation. Inflation is affecting the volume of activity within the economy. And volume matters because those 2 products he's not buying, somebody has to make those. Somebody has a job. And when they're not being bought, that eventually will filter through to even more layoffs within the manufacturing, even within the service sector. Next, we're going to cover news from the real estate market, and it's not pretty. But first, I hate to have to tell you this, but it's a documented fact. You are of greater than average intelligence. That's a known fact about viewers of Ron's Basement videos. So I know you have some thoughts on these matters. Your insight, your thoughts matter. You don't have to agree with me. I don't expect that, but I would like it if you left a comment in the comment section below. That way we get to know you and learn from you. Now, the latest horrible headline in the real estate market has to do with mortgage rates, where the big headline plastered everywhere this morning is that mortgage rates have now gone above 7% for the first time. I guess the average 30-year mortgage rate above 7%. First time since, 2002, I think I read. Look, These high mortgage rates are killing, absolutely killing, especially the residential real estate market. That will impact construction jobs. That will impact how rich people feel, because a lot of Americans derive a lot of their internal feelings of wealth, although I don't agree with that, with the value of their house. So as that spirals down further, and that's a very much lagging indicator, meaning it takes 3 to 6 months. We're just at the beginning phases of this, guys. Be careful out there. And we got one more thing to talk about. But before we do that, I just want to tell you again, thanks for joining me in Ron's Basement. You are never alone. I know it's tough out there. It's tough. We just want to be safe and secure. That's why we dive a little deeper into these subjects. So know that you're not alone. Know that I will be here every day to help us navigate these waters. And if nothing else, you got a friend here in Ron's Basement, but I know you have a lot more than that. Have you seen the earnings from some of these big blue chip tech companies? Let's just talk about Microsoft and Meta, which used to be known as Facebook, but now is known as Meta. Both of those companies put out earnings which were not quite what the market expected. As a matter of fact, Meta, which used to be known as Facebook, their stock was down like 20% this morning. Look, when the blue chip, when the big tech companies that are always doing so great are struggling, we know things are looking not so great in the economy. Well, there you have it. Don't forget, it's challenging out there right now. Be careful. Watch your debt levels. Watch your risk levels. Be as conservative as you can, because you want to keep yourself, your family, your friends as safe and secure as possible. Look, things will probably get even more challenging as we head down the road. Eventually, the central bank's easy monetary policy will come back. I know a lot of you follow silver and gold very closely like I do. I would expect that as we continue to struggle and we continue to get the Fed to maybe move back or just stop their uber aggressive stance, right? Once more of a dovish feeling, a loosening of monetary policy feeling, however they do it, quantitative tinkering or whatever they want to call it this time. When the market figures out that the Fed is cornered, the price of gold and silver should do very, very well. We'll see. I'll be here for you through it all. Thanks for joining me today. Be well.